Alabama brings in one guy and they lose two. Tony Mitchell, sophomore, he's in the transfer portal. Is this something that Alabama saw and they still made the move for a safety, or is this the consequence of going out there and bringing in Howard a couple of days ago? Also, former Alabama players finding new homes, and one guy who just transferred is transferring again, and he was on Alabama's roster a year ago. Basketball's got a lot going on as well. I think they may have their eyes on a couple big men. They also had Stevenson declare for the NBA draft. So much to talk about. We're going to get into all that right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, and let's get this party started with a hearty Roll Tide. Peace, everybody, with Big Elmo, sexy Elmo in the house, Mr. Brett Elmore. I'm Mick Gillispie. What's up, dude?
How are you, Mick? You doing fine?
I'm rocking and rolling, man. I'm trying to keep up with everything going on between basketball and football and recruiting, which has been, when you add both sports in, normally a pretty slow time of year. But the transfer portal closing for people to leave, and then, you got guys saying that they're coming one place or the other. But let's start with this guy right here. This is a big-time target out of Prichard, Alabama, Vigor High School, a four-star offensive lineman. Since Kalen DeBoer and his staff have gotten to Tuscaloosa, he has been one of their major targets.
The Vigor Wolves, big old offensive tackle, Mick, 6'5", 315. In my neck of the woods, they'd call him a monster. Big kid and a ton of talent, and a lot of folks after him. All the usual suspects, all the big schools. A lot of folks are thinking that he may go to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, that they've had a lot of success down in the Mobile area, as you well know. And that's something that Alabama needs to, continue to fend off, because I tell you, there's something in my eye, but there's also a lot of talent in Mobile. And you're from that area and you see it all the time.
Yeah.
But he's an experienced left tackle. That's the position he primarily plays. And of course, Vigor, won a state championship with him on the team. I think that was 2 years ago. Another guy that plays several different sports. He plays basketball. Boy, how would you like to defend that guy in the paint?
Yeah,
he's
right.
He's not no shooting guard. But
6'4", 335. I mean,
he takes up the lane. He takes up the lane, man. That's not fair. But a lot of the recruiting services are saying this guy has the potential to be an NFL draft candidate. I mean, he's that good. So we'll see what happens with that. I know he's got an official visit to Ohio State, and Florida's on the list for this month, and but we'll see.
Yeah, look, Alabama's offered him. We talked about Georgia. LSU's at the top of the list. They feel like they got him in the bag, but the Crimson Tide are still going to push hard for him, and he'll be in town on May 4th. So he'll have an opportunity to meet the new staff, Coach Cap, all those guys, and we'll see kind of what happens there as far as DeBose goes to the Crimson Tide. Now, it's been a flurry of activity in the safety spot for Alabama. And this is something that happened last night. Tony Mitchell, sophomore, has decided that he's going to get into the transfer portal. So just trying to figure this out now. All right. So in the safety spot, you got Malachi Moore, right? And then you got Devontae Smith, and then Keon Sabb is the guy that they went and, basically got out of the portal from Michigan. I guess Alabama's biggest get, right, besides Proctor. And then you would have had, and so Moore Sr., The juniors would be Smith and Sabb. So then sophomores wise, it was Tony Mitchell, Bray Hubbard, and then Cameron Howard, who Alabama just got from Charlotte a couple of days ago,
Right.
sophomore. And then when that happened, Peyton Woodyard, who was a recruit, he goes into the portal, right? So you still have Red Morgan and you still have Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., and then now Tony Mitchell's rolling out. And the thing that surprises me the most is that Alabama went out and got a safety, and they need so much help in the cornerback spot. I mean, they've got two guys with experience, and I figured that they would be able to add to that, but they didn't. And so it's going to be really interesting to see. And let me just kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about at corner. You lost KoolAid, Terrion Arnold, Trey Amos, Earl Little Jr., Antonio Kite, Des Ricks, and Jameer Grimsley. All those guys left. And obviously Arnold and KoolAid got drafted, right? And then that's cornerback. Safety-wise, you lost Jalen Key, who got drafted, Kristen Story, Jake Pope transferred to Georgia. Caleb Downs, he left and he went to Ohio State, now Woodyard. So I'm really concerned about this secondary.
Yeah. I thought Howard was a pretty good get from Charlotte. He had 32 tackles and a couple of picks last year. But, we've seen a flurry. You're right, a flurry of activity. And it seems like the safeties but would they try to convert one of these guys from safety to DB?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe.
It's just,
I'm thinking that you might have to do that, right?
Like I said the other day, I mean, they know more than I do, obviously. So, I'm not too concerned about it because I believe they've got it figured out. And the portal, I mean, this is the first day of May. So the portal, it's closed.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know, kind of who's in and who's out. And now it's just where they're going to be placed and how they're going to fit into the system.
Let's talk about a couple guys who transferred out and now have found homes. First, James Brockermeyer joins Tommy Brockermeyer at TCU. Not surprised at all. He was battling for the center spot. He obviously didn't win the job, even though he was the guy who started in the 8A game. But of course, Brailsford, wasn't participating for whatever reason, and that's his job. He came over with DeBoer. DeBoer's not going to let him walk. Okay. This one right here was surprising to me. I was surprised first off when Kendrick Blackshire transferred from Alabama. But now he's former Alabama and former Texas linebacker because he's transferring out of Texas. And this to me feels like I didn't get my way and I'm leaving and I'm going to find somewhere else to play.
Yeah, I believe so too. And that this is so weird. And where's he going to land? Who knows? But if I was a team, I would kind of look at this and, does that not drop his stock a lot?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
he had a chance at Alabama. I mean, like that whole defense is wide open. I mean, you got to win the job. Maybe he's just not as good as he thinks he is.
Well, maybe not. And I don't know what was the NIL money not good, good enough there in Austin, or does he get to keep the car, or what's the deal? I don't know. I mean,
is he another guy that got the car, like like the guy that caught the touchdown against Auburn?
Yeah, I mean, does he get to keep the car, or does he, or the earnest money, or whatever? I don't know. This is such a weird world we're living in, and this makes it weirder. It's like you're in Alabama. You're at the best place in the world if you're a college football player. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Texas, and that's not a bad program, obviously. No. I'm a Sark fan. I like the guy. Okay, you want to go play for Texas? That's fine. But now he's transferring out. Got out on the last day when he could get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to me, if I was a coach, I'd just look at that and think, man, that's kind of shady at best, but he's a good football player. Come on.
Yeah, they're going to accept it until it's not allowed
Right.
to be accepted. So, whatever. I still wish him the best of luck, but it just feels like you're right. Like you'd have to think twice, and it would be so hilarious if he came back to Alabama, But I don't know. I mean, if he couldn't get on the field at Alabama and he couldn't get on the field at Texas, maybe he needs to go somewhere and go somewhere smaller. And
TCU's open.
yeah, go to TCU. All right, let's talk some basketball because, of course, Nate Oates and I are tight now that we, bonded at the mullet toss. Now that we were part of the biggest sporting event that he's been a part of. I'm even wearing a mullet toss shirt just because.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
proud of myself.
Yeah, y'all bought identical shirts. I think that was the deal too. Y'all have matching shirts.
Pals. We're pals. So this one came, I want to say it came out of nowhere. Jarin Stevenson, forward freshman at Alabama, has declared for the NBA draft. He was a decent player. I didn't think he was a difference maker. 5.3 points, 2.7 rebounds. This feels a lot like the G League to me. I can't imagine him being drafted and actually having a chance to make a roster. Or is he going to declare for the NBA draft so that Alabama can go out and get these other two centers that they got one scholarship, but maybe they can get two? I don't know. It kind of feels like it might be like, hey man, you're really good. You should go to the NBA, right? Where you
Hey, buddy. You know what? On second thought, I do think you should go to the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pal, you're great.
You're great, man. You're gonna make a great difference and play in the Birmingham G League. It'll be great.
We'll see you in front of all 1,000 people, all 500 folks that are there.
Yeah. That was being very that was generous. He has until May 29th to return and get feedback.
Do you think he'll have a spot by then? I mean, I know he was the number one player out of North Carolina. I look, the defense last year wasn't that good. It wasn't just him, but was he a guy that came in and helped the defense? I didn't feel like there was really, he had a good game in the tournament, but there were a lot of games where he disappeared, wasn't a factor. And now you got these two big men right here. I mean, think about those names. If you had both of those guys down low.
Well, I mean, he had his shining moment against Clemson. He came out and everybody was like, where's this guy been all season? He had 19 points. You remember that?
Yeah.
But that was just like that song at the end of the Final Four. That was his one shining moment.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and make him a 7-footer just to make you feel better.
Yeah, exactly. Always round it up, my friend.
Onyenso.
Always round it up.
Bring them in.
Bring them in. I want these 7-footers. I would take both of them any day of the week.
We'll rotate them. Of course, from Rutgers and from Kentucky. I mean, I don't know. That just feels like On3 said that that Onyenso was going to sign with Alabama. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen, right? So I'm buying that. But then when you offer, a scholarship to Elmore, am I saying that right? Elmore, and it's like, yeah, what about him? So maybe there's two scholarships. You want to play in the NBA or you want to play in Tuscaloosa? Whether it's the allure of the G League to me, when you can go and on a Final Four team with everyone interested, stack up the NIL. I mean, not just the handouts that the boosters are handing you, but I'm talking about going out and actually earning it, because I bet you Mark Sears is going to be, when he comes back, and I think it's going to happen. He's going to be the man. I mean, look, he's going to be everywhere. I want him. I want to see him on every car dealership and every commercial, at Dreamland Barbecue. I want to drive down the street and him pushing Tuscaloosa on, billboards. Love that.
Right. Well, you want him to be the face.
Yeah, right. Like the Michael Jordan. Remember when Michael Jordan was like, he had the shoes from Nike. He was on Gatorade. You know, it's like everywhere you looked, it was like, I want to be like Mike.
Like Mike.
Yeah.
I can be like Mike. I can be like Mike.
It's in McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
he's really eating McDonald's, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He was everywhere.
What would be our version of that would be Sears eating taco casa.
Right, yeah. Hello, I'm Mark Sears, and I like taco casa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these guys have an opportunity. It's going to be a lot better than the G League, and we'll see what happens. But this whole basketball roster to me is intriguing because you lose a bunch of guys, and I'm telling you, I was disappointed. I wanted to see that team run it back, Brett. And now I'm looking at it, I'm going, you know what? Besides the guy that went to Kansas, forget his name, the guy that left.
Yeah. We erased him from our memory.
He's gone. But
if you leave, you're gone.
And that's sad. I think that Alabama's going to win a national championship without me. Message that he put out. More crying. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. But there's something even bigger to talk about, Brett. And I know that you're excited about throwing it up there and getting into it. Or should I say,
we were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, KoolAid.
Oh, KoolAid brand KoolAid.
KoolAid. All right. Yes, and I was talking to some folks at our comment section the other day, and it's like, yeah, this KoolAid stuff, we had to get us some of that. And I was like, yeah, we need to kind of work on some drink menu ideas with this KoolAid.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That would be very nice.
So would you say, like, for me, like, you could actually have spiked KoolAid, like vodka in the KoolAid? Is that what you're saying?
Mick, I'm from Walker County. We spike
moonshine.
We spike anything.
Wildcat whiskey. Wildcat whiskey.
Yeah.
And from Gary, Alabama? Is that what you're talking
about? Yeah.
I'm not supposed to know about that.
Yeah, you know it all too well, Mick. You know it all too well.
KoolAid, man. And for you guys and for you youngsters, just drink it regular. Just do like Brett and sugar the hell out of it.
You're right. When I was growing up, Mick, we'd have this jug, and I'd watch my mom fix this stuff, she'd be like putting in the package, and all of a sudden she'd pour in all this sugar, and I'm like, wow, okay, and she mix it up, man, nothing like those hot summer days. Yeah, hot summer days. You come in, get you some ice cold KoolAid.
I grew up on KoolAid too. What is your favorite flavor?
Cherry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more into the KoolAid flavored KoolAid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's going to be
black cherry blitz. I'm into the black cherry blitz.
Yeah.
No, I like the black cherry. I like grape. I like strawberry.
Yeah.
Orange. We had this other stuff called Tang. Have you ever had Tang before?
Yeah.
So, Tang, I didn't want the orange KoolAid. I was a Tang guy. That was kind of, you drew the line there because the astronauts drank Tang.
Right. And then that was cool.
All right. Well, tell us what's going on today in the world. Everyone wants to know.
Actually, there's nothing going on in the world. I really just don't have much of anything on this first day of May. I just want to welcome everybody to the first day of May. If you had to do it in April, guess what? It's too late. Game over. Today is Ride a Bike Day. Do you have a bike?
Nice. You know what? I want one. I wanted to get a bike. I walk. I try to walk 5 miles a day now. I've been so busy lately with all, since baseball season started, like covering everything and working and stuff. I haven't really been able to do it as much, hardly at all. But I was like kind of game planning on buying a bike, but then everyone's getting run over by cars that are using cell phones on bikes. So like people are like distracted driving.
That's probably a good reason not to get one.
Yeah, that's why I don't have one. There's even places to ride the bikes around here, but I still may get one. I just don't want to get run over.
Yeah, just put your helmet on. You'll be all right.
I had a bicycle growing up though, man. Nothing hurt more than when the BMX pedal would like flip around and hit you in the Achilles heel.
Yeah, that hurt, and my shoelaces would always get tied up somehow in the
Oh, in the pedals.
pedal.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I'd be going real fast and everything, I'd be thinking, and you'd feel your foot tighten up your shoe. You thought, oh boy, here it's about to get real.
Yeah, and
then
then you're talking like, "Hey, hi."
Yeah,
That
exactly.
bar in the middle.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
It was man, I used to ride that bicycle all the time. Today's also National Purebred Dog Day.
Yeah, and look, I'm a purebred dog guy, and
Yeah.
I know, like, I like mutts too. I don't have any issue with them. But I had a Jack Russell Terrier while I was at Alabama. I got an Eider, Alabama. He's the greatest dog that ever lived. His name was Poncho, named after Willie Nelson, whose 91st birthday was a couple days ago. And he was a purebred Jack. And then I got a I don't even know if you could call golden doodles a purebred, because really the whole thing about them is that they're mixed between golden retrievers and poodles.
Yeah.
But I think all dogs are great, but I'm a purebred guy like that.
You've got a great dog, John.
Very friendly guy.
Very, very friendly dog. And I had it's so funny you mentioned that. I had a terrier also that was probably the best dog I ever had. His name was Bud.
Bud. What kind of terrier was he?
He was I believe he was a rat terrier.
Okay, so a lot like Poncho.
Yeah. He was named after Bud, as in it was either Budweiser or the marijuana. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, or the guy off of Married with Children.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The Bud. Yeah, I remember Bud.
Or the cookies in Birmingham.
Yeah, Bud's best.
Yeah. See, we're all over the place.
Well,
look, Bud, it was fun today.
It was a blast, Mick. It's always good to see you, and especially in that palatial estate of yours, that fine studio. I'm in just a room here, man.
We got to get decorated. Well, a couple things, Brett, before we get off here. Pearl River Resort over in Choctaw, Mississippi. You were talking about getting over there to play the table games and the slots. You want to slide in and put some bets down in the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook. Sit back in that Vegas-style casino sportsbook, watch all the games, and you know that no matter what time of day it is, that there's going to be something that you can gamble on, whether it's, American sports or overseas, but they got it all there, and you know that. Or the other thing is that your love for golf, you've got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which is the Augusta that you can play. And I know you love the spa treatment, and they have that. But the other thing that you really enjoy is the water park, and they got that as well. And then finally, you are a huge music type, and I think we're going to kind of transition into that right now, because you could go on a game show and name songs. They've got their 30th anniversary this summer. They're celebrating it right now. Boys to Men are going to be there for your birthday, so it's kind of the Brett Elmore, big sexy Elmo birthday bash over at Pearl River Resort, Choctaw, Mississippi, and Philadelphia. But they got Big and Rich, Gretchen Wilson's going to be there. They also have Brian McKnight. So they got a lot going on there, and you got a lot going on with the Brett Elmore Show.
Yeah, join me weekdays 6 till 10, WJLX1015.com, all the major streaming apps, and always look forward to hearing from everyone, and always have a great time in the mornings.
They call him Big Sexy, coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy, throwing out those Alabama thoughts, sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XPs, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
If you stayed for all that, have a great day and roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.